Welcome to Up to Your Ears, everyone. Today we have a super fun guest. We have Jason Hill from Louis XIV.
I'm very excited. I just recently found out that they're still together. I did not realize that, but
They reunited.
They reunited, and it feels so good. I'm very excited because I loved them, their first records, and I can't wait to hear what he has going on.
Yes.
They've played with so many people. He's worked with artists like The Killers, Jet, David Bowie. I mean, he's done it all, and he's another one of those multi-instrumentalists that can play everything and anything, and he's written music and composed music for film and TV, done it all.
Yes,
super
currently
talented
I
guy.
believe it's The Mind Hunter. And
Yeah.
that's a David Fincher project, and Jason
Mhm.
Hill does all the music for it, which is pretty fabulous. He's been in the
No
industry a really long time, and from what I gather about him, he has absolutely paid his dues. He has been there, done that, and all of his hard work is really paying off. So we're thrilled to be able to speak with him today, ask him our hilarious questions, and Josie with her thoughtful ones, so that everyone can get to know our guests a little bit better.
I don't necessarily think mine are more thoughtful, because I do think that your questions they're fun and funny, but they tell a lot about a person, I think. I love your question. Yes.
At least from my experience, your questions are things the fans are dying to know.
I do love the first show question. Doesn't tell a lot about necessarily a person, because sometimes you just sort of accidentally happen upon your first show, but everyone always remembers it, and they remember it in detail, which is really funny, because it's for musicians. Of course, you're going to remember your first show, because for a lot of musicians, I feel like that's when they decided, I'm going to do that. I love this,
Okay.
Okay.
Jason is here, so we're going to admit him to the meeting, and we can't wait.
Well, welcome to the show. So glad you took time out to talk to us. Good to see you. And looks like we're in your studio, which is awesome.
Yeah, we are in my studio. Yes, thank you.
Are you in San Diego? Or are you in LA? Where are you?
I'm in LA. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Do you record other projects there as well?
Yeah, I do.
What do you call your studio? What's the name of it?
Department of Recording and Power. But I do lots of things. I mostly score films and stuff these days, and which I love doing. But I produce stuff too. Like I did a Wolf Mother song with me and my friend Chris that plays drums in Jet. And we were basically the band. We were basically Wolf Mother with this singer. I do stuff all the time, actually, but a lot of that I sort of do for not necessarily I do kind of for fun, because really what sort of my main thing is scoring films these days. But I still love to produce records, and I'm working my own record. Because I'm only right at this exact moment, which is unlike a lot of times. I'm only doing one show. I'm doing a show called Love, Death, and Robots for David Fincher, and so it's like this animated sci-fi thing. It's really, really dark and awesome. But I'm just doing I'm just doing like his episode. But because I'm only doing that one thing, I'm sort of working on my own record, and I'm actually like not taking on too many things.
Well, Jason, we have a questionnaire for you that Vanessa is going to start off with.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, ready for our questions here? I've named this questionnaire Truth or Protect Your Rep. So you can answer truthfully if you want to, or you can give us your version of the truth.
Oh, okay. Gosh. Now you got me nervous. I have lots of things I don't want anybody to know.
I keep it light. Okay, question number 1. If you could be a wild animal, what would it be and why?
That's a good one. It's the first thing that comes to mind would be like a tiger, probably, or like a lion. but let's see, gosh. Well, I mean, you don't, if you're, say, a tiger or a lion, you really don't have to, you don't have to worry as much, I think. I mean, other than maybe humans coming around after you and trying to, like, fuck with you, but you can kind of do your own thing. You know?
Yeah.
You're not worried about something coming around and eating you so much because you're kind of the boss of it, you know, like I would say that's probably, I don't like to be told what to do. And let alone, I wouldn't want to be like running around having somebody want to eat me all the time, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Tacos or pizza?
gosh, pizza. I love pizza so much, but I technically, if it wasn't so bad for you, I could eat it every day. You know?
Yeah. Same for me.
Yeah, agreed. Because we all know you're an avid reader, right? All those books on your shelf, have you actually read them, or are they just for show?
I have read. Why, have you seen my bookshelf? I do have a big record shelf and books. I actually really do. I read a lot. I used to read when I was younger a lot. Like I would read, I've probably read like every biography and autobiography from like every rock and roller. I don't do that. I don't read those anymore. I find them boring now, but I think the last one I read was probably Keith Richards' Life, I think. But I've read so many of those, like, you know, in my early 20s and teens, I just devoured all of those. I don't know why. I guess I consider myself one of them, so I was like, wanted to find out. I read now a lot. Like I'm reading what Bukowski's Hollywood. I will skim a lot. I'll read it like a few things at a time. Yes, I do read a lot.
When you were growing up, what was your favorite cartoon?
Ooh.
Or did you watch cartoons?
You know, I wasn't a big cartoon watcher, but I obviously was to some, probably until like 10 or something. Like Saturday morning cartoons. I love Saturday morning cartoons. I don't know. I can't remember really any of them. I remember I did always like that one that was like, it was some sort of like world race with all these different characters from all these different shows. I think it was like Hanna-Barbera shows. Like, like that mutt, there was like a mutt with like a sort of like dastardly guy they were in a car.
Oh,
that's
that's
like great race or something. I remember always digging that. It was like some sort of race around the world. I don't know. Probably was only on for a year or two, but
my questions now, Jason. Number one, what was the first concert you ever went to that you remember?
I believe the first concert, who was it? It was at like Wild Animal Park. Great. I loved that place. Where you go around on the tram and you see all the animals in their, you know, normal habitat or whatever. Gosh, I haven't been there since I was probably like 8 or something, but 10 or something. I remember seeing, I can't remember who it was. Let me think. It was like, you know, it would have been somebody like the Monkees or somebody like that, you know, or I can't remember exactly, like Paul Revere and the Raiders or something like that. I think that was like the first one that I actually remember going to like on my own.
Yeah.
I remember I got tickets from school. For some reason, I got free tickets to go see Judas Priest. I didn't even know like anything about, but I got free tickets. I think I was in 8th grade.
Your school gave you free tickets to Judas Priest?
I don't know why. There was it wasn't like it was some way I got them. When I was like 6th grade through 10th grade, I was the class president, or I was vice president and class president. And then I found guitar and said, fuck this, I don't care. Anyway, so somehow through that, I think we got tickets somehow, and it was like, who wants these tickets? There was some weird thing like that. I of course had to listen to Judas Priest before I went because I had no idea anything about it. He would do these like weird high wail screams that were amazing, you know, like this like crazy pitch. And I'm sure the sound guy was doing a little juice to him, you know, like little reverb and delays to make them even more exciting. But I was really like, it was like, wow, these guys are great. I think the electricity of the show was just really exciting too. I think it was at Sports Arena.
Jason, if you happen to find yourself on death row,
Just
Yes.
if.
what, yeah, hypothetically speaking, what would your last meal be?
Pizza.
Pizza, right? Okay. From where?
Yeah, what's your joint up there?
You have one last meal. You have to pick. You have to choose.
Or are you getting it flown
I
in
don't
from
know
Chicago? Or are you getting a proper New York slice?
I think I would get a New York slice. It reminds me when I was a kid, there was like a New York pizza place, with one of those like, this size slice for like $1
Ooh.
or $2 or whatever.
Nice.
That I would go to every day after like middle school. Super
New York-
cheap, super rad.
Yeah.
You would dip it in this like ranch sauce they had. I mean, it was so bad for you, I'm sure, but it was so good. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. You've met tons of people. You've played all over the world, all over the place. Have you ever been starstruck by another musician?
no,
No.
no, I'm not really starstruck by anybody. I loved it when like, I would see somebody so good that it's just like you felt like the way I used to look at it is like you wanted to be like your religion changed overnight, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It was like so good. There's moments where I would see those performances and be like, oh yeah, that was great. I
Mhm.
remember like the first time we went on tour with the White Stripes right before they like hit. They played in Nashville, like the week actually of Fell in Love with a Girl hitting MTV. And it was really interesting. We played the note in, I think, Bloomington, Indiana the first night. And it was like half capacity, maybe 400 people or something in like 1,000-seater thing. But by a couple days later, the hype had gotten so big that I remember it was like raining down in Nashville. And it was a small club, smaller than the Casbah, like one of those places where there was no stage. You're just playing in the corner of a room. Maybe 150 people can go inside, and lines are just going around blocks and blocks and blocks of people that are never going to get into this show, but they're still waiting in line. But I remember seeing them play that night and thinking, you guys, wow, they fucking great. They really killed it in that little place.
That's
But I wasn't
awesome.
starstruck.
What is the strangest thing a fan has ever given to you as a gift or said to you where you're just like, what? That was crazy.
First thing comes, I'm trying to remember what exactly was said. It's not, I don't know. Well, one of the craziest things, it wasn't a gift, but it was sort of along those lines. We were in Japan, and we were in Japan, and we flew in to do this thing called Summer Sonic, like this festival, and which plays like one night in Tokyo, and then all those bands at the festival go and play Osaka, and vice versa. They flip. So we were only in town for like three or four nights or something like that. It was such a bummer that we didn't like really get to spend time there. But we fly in. I think we were in Osaka. Yeah, we were in Osaka, and we fly in. Me and Brian Karstig, I used to always like bunk in the same hotel rooms and stuff. So we've been friends since we were little kids. And we go in and we have crazy jet lag. So we go in and we just fall asleep in the hotel room. And I remember waking up and it was like 11 o'clock. I'm like, dude, we're in freaking Osaka. We have to go out. It was a Saturday night too, I think, or Friday night or something. I was like, we have to go out. And so we get ready a little bit, and we open the door, and there's two girls there with a leash around, one of them, like has a leash around the collar, and she goes, we've come to take you to Rock Rock. Like, wait, were you going to wait all freaking night for us? Like, how do you know what room we're in? And B, like we were probably going to sleep all night. Like, how long have you been out there? And she gives the leash to Brian, to like walk her. And so Brian's walking this girl, these little Japanese, really cute girls, and they take us to this club. But that was the thing. They were sort of like giving themselves to us for the night. And it was a really fascinating thing. So I suppose that would be the strangest gift,
That
with
is
the Rock.
It's strange.
Yeah,
That takes the cake.
Yeah. That's number one for the
That's number one.
so far.
you've done, I think that's the strangest thing. I think you win.
Sure.
You win, Jason.
Good.
My final and sort of our wrap up here is what exactly is going on with you now? You said you were working on some of your own stuff. Is that solo, or is that Louis XIV? Or
yeah, it's solo. Although I'm working on solo record. We have like Louis XIV. Me and Brian have been writing some stuff, but we haven't really in a while. But we do have some stuff that we wanted to release. So we might release some of that. We released a single like around the beginning of COVID, and then I have like but I've been working on a record. Yes, I've been working on a record. But I've been writing a lot with my friend Chris that is in Jet. He's one of my favorite drummers of all time, and we write such great stuff. And I went through a breakup recently. I was together with somebody for 5.5 years. And so like when I was swimming in Heartbreak City, I wrote some of the best material ever. Some that I've written with Chris, and it's great. It's just like, I just decided I'm glad I caught it because I'm out of Heartbreak City, but like, so you got to catch it while it's happening. And
yeah, for sure.
I knew, I'm glad I had sort of like foresight of like, I am going to get out of this, so I better try to dive into it. I think when I was a kid, I used to create a slight drama for myself so I'd have shit to write about, I don't really do that so much anymore, but that was this moment where it sort of happened and wrote these gems. And so trying to figure, like, I want to release this record, but then I also want to release an instrumental record too, because I have all of this stuff trying to finish it.
It'd be a 2021 release.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Not yet. I'm doing the Love, Death, and Robots. Just David Fincher's directed episode. Like, he owns the show with this guy named Tim Miller that did like Deadpool and stuff. It's these one-off things. And this season, there's normally a guy that scores that show. But since I do most of Fincher's stuff, with the exception of some of the things that Trent Reznor might do. But like, I do most all of Fincher's stuff for the last 8 years, I guess. So like, he hired me to do that. And I'm doing another show called Voir with him too. And, but that one's done for now until the next episodes come out. None of them have made it to Netflix. Oh, and I do have a show that I did that's coming out soon, I think in the beginning of 2021, called This Is a Robbery, about a big, like, it's like a docu-series on, 5-part docu-series on Netflix that's coming out. That's really good about this, like, big time, like March or February or something like that.
Well, we'll keep our eye out for it for sure.
Oh, there's a show that's about to come out that I do the music for. It's a show called Couples Therapy on Showtime.
Yeah.
This was actually really funny that I had to do this because, so I did the first season. Mostly I did it with my friend Ari, where he and I would just improvise for Ari Ingber. He's really great. And we would the original first season, I flew him out from New York, and we just improvised for 4 days. And that became the score of the show.
Oh, cool.
Really, really fun music, really interesting. But then I was asked to do, right as me and my ex break up, I'm asked to do the quarantine episode of Couples Therapy, which Couples Therapy literally is a docu-series like about people going through couples therapy. And this one was about couples going through couples therapy, like, but on Zoom, like during quarantine, basically. So it was actually one of the worst experiences of my life. Like, the last thing I wanted to do was make music. The last thing I wanted to do was watch like my problems on screen and score them, and it was like, that's what I had to do. And it was so miserable. I mean, the music ended up being pretty cool and the show's great, but it was like so hard. I remember like calling the director, who was great, this woman named Kim, and just afterwards just going, hey, by the way, that was terrible for me to do. Like, like, it was like,
red jumpsuit in the studio. It's very, I was just in Chicago with Steve Albini, like before COVID. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's very Steve Albini-esque of you.
Did you wear jumpsuits as well in the studio?
Yeah, he and all of his sound engineers.
I didn't know that.
I've never seen him without a jumpsuit, honestly.
Well, I have several of them. I have 4 of them, and like different colors. Back in the day, it would be like, before I went on stage, I would like slip on my boots. It was sort of like the routine, to get you into character, to get you into like and so you'd have to like get into that routine, like slip on your boots or whatever it is that allows you to kind of get. I do the same thing with the jumpsuit. Like, I'll put on the jumpsuit before I walk into work in the studio. Just gets me to the mind, and you can move around. And I get why he wears them, because they're really like handy. I can pick up a cello. I can do this and that. Really kind of loose and fun.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and you have your uniform when you go into work. It's great.
Right.
I really did. Boom. So easy.
That brain space for other stuff that's more important.
Exactly. So talented. That was really great.
Yes, really fabulous personality. What a character. Love the stories. And so exciting that he's putting so many different projects together. It's exactly what he said. I mean, obviously it came right from him, but as soon as he picked up his guitar, he knew what he wanted to do with his life. And it's so awesome to hear people that make that happen, that make a decision and then stick with it until they're successful. It's awesome. Yay for Jason. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked our videos, please like and subscribe so that we can pay for better internet so we don't get dropped all the time. No, I'm just joking, okay? Okay. All right. I'm Vanessa. This is Josie.
I'm Josie.
And this has been Up to Your Ears. We really enjoyed interviewing Jason Hill today, and we will see you again soon. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Just doesn't look good.
Josie always looks good.
Please subscribe. I love you. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.